The Republican-controlled House has voted to overturn a key gun regulation that was put in place by President Biden. In mostly a party-line vote on Tuesday, Republicans repealed stricter federal regulations on pistol braces that attach to a shooter's arm to stabilize the firearm. These stabilizers were used in March by the Nashville school shooter who ended up allegedly killing six people, including three 9-year-old children. The pistol braces were also used in mass shootings in Dayton, Ohio, and Boulder, Colorado. The Senate is not likely to take up the House bill. President Biden is vowing a veto. But joining me now is Democratic Congresswoman Mikey Sherrill of New Jersey, a former Navy pilot and federal prosecutor. And this bill, by the way, was co-sponsored, as you know, by Republican Congressman Andrew Clyde of Georgia, who owns a gun store. So, you know, why does the House move against these regulations?
You know, that is a great question. I'm a mother of 4 kids, and after we see mass shooting after mass shooting after mass shooting, when we see our kids being gunned down, not just in their schools, but in their neighborhoods, in cars, to think that we cannot act in this country to, at a minimum, take care of our children is really reprehensible. The gun industry is making millions off of these pistol braces. That might be one reason why you see such a lobbying effort by the NRA to keep this in place. But really to see that almost no Republicans voted against this is still astounding to me. And they know it's wrong because I'll tell you, they took the markup down in the wake of the Nashville shooting, which resulted in 9-year-olds being killed by somebody with a pistol brace. So they know this is something that is killing our children, and yet they're continuing to move forward in this way.
Help me here, Congresswoman. Is there a claim that the president doesn't have the power to do this by executive authority?
This is something, you know, regulating short-barreled rifles, which is what these pistol braces turn pistols into, basically, has been on the books since the 1930s. When in the aftermath of gang shootings, they put this in place in the National Firearms Act, because at that time, in the 30s, we were in this country able to meet some of the dangers of society with good legislation that protected our families and protected people in this country. And the fact that we are such an outlier, that among all the nations in the world, we seem to be the only one that can't do minimal protections for our citizenry, especially our children. The #1 cause of death of children under 18 is death by firearms. Think about that for a minute. That's really unacceptable. And the fact that we are seeing this consistent pushback, not just to not implement basic protections like universal background checks, like an assault weapons ban, but to actually go further and take down regulations that are in place, I really have no words.
House Democrats are now pushing for a vote to ban assault weapons. This doesn't have a chance, does it? What is your strategy here?
We are just going to continue to move forward to try to find those pathways, those places to go forward so that we can gather the support we need to pass this through Congress. And while it may not pass today, it may not pass tomorrow, we are not going to stop because, quite frankly, our children's futures are at stake. Our children's lives are at stake. I'm a mom of 4 kids. And like so many parents, in the aftermath of these shootings, I walk my elementary school kid to the bus stop, and as she boards the bus, I'm thinking, dear God in heaven, what if I get a call today that something horrible has happened at her school? That's what parents are living with, and that's nothing compared to what children are living with as they're hiding under their desks, as they're spending hours locked down in a classroom because someone outside their school's been, someone's seen a gun on a child, so SWAT teams are clearing schools. This is no way to live. This is not acceptable in this country, and I and my colleagues will continue to fight to make sure we have better results going forward.
And before I let you go, as a former federal prosecutor and a Navy pilot in the service of our country, what do you make of the federal charges facing Donald Trump?
You know, I have handled classified information. When I was in the military, I had a top secret and secret compartmentalized information clearance. I know how much of that information comes to be in the possession of the United States government. It's because people around the world put their own lives or the lives even of their families in danger reporting things because they are hoping to support us in our endeavor to promote freedom and democracy. They're supporting the United States of America with the understanding that we will utilize this information carefully, that will protect them, that will protect our sources so that we can do better in our fight for freedom. And to see that a president of the United States treats this so callously, the lives of people so callously, and when given opportunity after opportunity after opportunity to do the right thing, to return this information, to make sure it was kept safe, refused to do so at every turn. I mean, you've heard from members of our military, they would have been court-martialed. I would have been court-martialed. I mean, he has been given more opportunities than the average American and yet refused. And I think at that time, there was really no other way to go forward here, especially given the fact that we suspect he may have more classified information that we're unaware of.
Congresswoman Mikey Sherrill, thank you very much.